Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. My question today for you is this. Is anything too hard for God? You're going to see, we're in Genesis 18 today. You're going to see that Abram is dealing with this very issue. Okay? So we're starting chapter 18 today. And let's read. This is a very interesting chapter. It's when the three visitors, which one is God, comes to visit Abraham. Okay? And remember, now we're switching from Abram to Abraham and Sarai to Sarah. Okay? Their names got switched in the last chapter. All right, so it says, and I'm going to be reading Genesis 18, 1 through 15 today. It says this, the Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre, while he was sitting at the entrance of his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw three men standing nearby. When he saw them, he hurried from the entrance of his tent to meet them and bowed low to the ground. He said, if I have found favor in your eyes, my Lord, do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, and then you may all wash your feet and rest under this tree. Let me get something for you to eat, so that you can be refreshed and then go on your way, now that you have come to your servant. Okay, this was typical of that day and age, where if you had someone walking by, you were supposed to serve them. Hospitality was a bigger deal back then than it was today. Okay, if someone walked by my house today, they'd be like, hey, how you doing? Maybe. Okay, but back then it was like they walked by your house, you served them a meal and everything, and got them all cleaned up, ready to go, a few more miles down the road. So these three guys are walking by, and then they stop here. It says, very well, they answered, do as you say. So Abraham hurried into the tent to Sarah. Quick, he said, get 3 seahs of finest flour and knead it and bake some bread. Then he ran to the herd and selected a choice tender calf and gave it to a servant who hurried to prepare it. He then brought some curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared and set this food before them. While they ate, he stood near them under the tree. Okay. This looks like it's something really quick. I mean, I'm sure he hurried to get this stuff done, to bake the bread and to kill the animal that they were going to eat, the calf that they were going to eat. However, it would take a while. You're cooking it over an open fire. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to nuke it in the microwave for a bit. No, not at all. Okay, so it would have taken a while, and they're waiting and chit-chatting. And verse 9 says, where is your wife Sarah? They asked him. There in the tent, he said. Then one of them said, I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son. Now Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent, which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were already very old, and Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself as she thought, after I am worn out and my Lord is old, will I now have this pleasure? Then the Lord said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh and say, will I really have a child now that I'm old? Verse 14, is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return to you at the appointed time next year, and Sarah will have a son. Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, I did not laugh. But he said, yeah, you did laugh. Okay. I'm going to stop there for today. In verse 14, let me reread that. It says, is anything too hard for the Lord? Again, God puts this like incredible promise to Abraham here and to Sarah saying, you're going to have a child, which seemed to be impossible. Okay. And remember, in the last chapter, God had also given that same promise. And Abraham goes, oh, can you do it with Ishmael? Because that'd be so much easier. Abraham is trying to help God out of a pickle. Well, here, God lays it all out. He said, about this time next year, Sarah's going to have a baby. Okay, there was no way Abraham could help God out here, And so they're laughing. Sarah's laughing because this is so crazy that how could anything that happen? I haven't had children, and I'm like over 90 years old, and now I'm supposed to have children? And so they were laughing about this, like this is crazy. But God closes that verse there, verse 14, is anything too hard for the Lord? You know, now, we know, because I've read the Bible here, and we know all the way through, nothing is too hard for the Lord, okay? So it was building up the faith of Abraham. All the way through the story, you see, Abraham is a man of faith. Well, at the beginning of the story, he doesn't have as much faith, and it's slowly being built up, all the way through, and he's like, getting to be 100 years old here. And so this is, it's just part of the faith building process. But the key thing to remember today is this: is anything too hard for the Lord? You and I both know. No, it's not. Nothing is too hard for the Lord. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through the book of Genesis. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.